make the world a safer place in half an hour. Before that, on UK Horizons, we're on the lonely night shift with a Midlands detective, one of the blues and twos.
It's to DC Dawes receiving, over.
Yes, two men. They've been threatening people. They've got bottles with them. One of them has slapped one of the barmaids.
Yes, going to make that.
Everything you are about to see in this programme is real events filmed as they happened. Never before have television cameras been so close to the work of Britain's emergency services. Some incidents show people in distress, but all those involved have given their consent for those scenes to be broadcast. Tonight we're on duty with Detective Constable Kirk Dawes.
Yeah, lock him up on suspicion of violent disorder.
He's part of the CID team in West Midlands Police D Division based at Sutton Coldfield.
Yeah, if you can get somebody to speak, he's obviously not going to stop for me. Police, pull over. I'm a policeman.
They just jumped on him. Dad was kicked to the floor, possibly lost consciousness for a couple of minutes.
On night duty, he operates alone, but liaises closely with the uniformed officers at the scene of all major crimes.
On the night dude, there were 4 kids here messing about. They've just run down the road.
Do you know the lad who's done it?
As crimes are reported throughout the night, his job, recording and collecting evidence, is vital to successful prosecution and conviction.
You're a witness in a case, yeah? And it's against the law now.
The station calls him the Night D.
Night CID, DC Dawes. I've had a report at Lakes Road in Erdington.
Male assaulted with a knife with head and neck injuries.
Yes, en route. Do you know where that is?
You got that last one.
Ambo attending a violent assault. Would you attend, over?
Can I follow you down there? This is all go so nice. See, that's when the big guys come in front and take over because they've got all the horns and everything.
Quickly on the scene, Kirk wants information while it's fresh in the victim's mind.
What's happened? Do you need to go to hospital?
I don't know. The more you move around, the more the blood will come out. All right, just relax here.
Let me just sit here. You say you've been stabbed, boy. Let me have a look at you.
It's a slash, is it?
Delta 2, DC Dawes, over.
DC Dawes, go ahead.
Can you give me an ETA for the amber?
Yes, all received.
Do you know what happened?
I've been attacked by a few kids now.
Down where?
Witten,
Witten, tonight. How did you get back from there, then?
on the bus.
You came home on the bus? You've been like this all the way? How long have you been bleeding, son?
About an hour.
An hour?
Did you feel a stabbing or a punch in the back of your neck?
A few idiots stamped on.
DC Dawes.
ETA, the ambulance.
2 to 4 minutes, over.
It's a while, isn't it? He's been moving now.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take him to Good Hope, purely and simply because he's been bleeding for some time now, just in case it's a puncture rather than a slash wound.
Received?
Yes, can I confirm that you want the Ambo cancelled, over?
Affirmative, we'll get him there now.
The boy claims to have travelled 10 miles home despite his injuries. Kirk is suspicious. He needs more information to go on. But medical attention must come first.
Son, there's no suggestion this took place here at all, is there, son? No, not at all. OK. You're going to come with him?
Yeah, I'm coming.
So, what has happened is this lady's saying that this incident has taken place in Witten, which is a considerable distance from where he's ended up, and to have gone all the way back to that house with the wounds that he's got, well, it slightly doesn't ring true. Well, it doesn't ring true to me. It's a long way, especially on a bus, and I'm sure that no call was made to the DIR. It's something I will be checking. Delta 2, DC Dawes.
DC Dawes, go ahead, over.
Yes, Dave, this lad from the incident at Lakes Road is saying that he was assaulted in Witten. Is there any reports of a disorder of any kind down there this evening?
Yeah, I've got the log on the screen now. Can confirm there's been an incident at Witten Road and Trinity Road earlier on. Apparently reports of disorder in the street, over.
Do you mind getting somebody down there, just in case, to see if we have a scene down there?
Yeah, stand by. I'll have to liaise with Delta 1.
Yes, I just want to find if there's any area down there where there's blood and the like. Should we find any assailants tonight, I can't go anywhere near them because of contamination with regard to forensic evidence.
Anyone from X-ray, please report to casualty.
Can you stay? Just for a bit? Because what we need really is a statement from him, either making complaints or saying he doesn't want one.
Later that night, after time to reflect in hospital, the injured lad decided not to proceed with any charges against his attackers. For Kirk, the inquiry was over.
It's always good when you're on nights, if you haven't got a specific job to go to sometimes cruise around the division, try and find out where the hot spots, if you like, the places where trouble's likely to occur are. There's always a chance that you could come across something whilst you're out there, that you could see the ram raider on his way back from a job, or the kid looking for the car to do the ram raid. Oh, we've got a car off the road here.
Yes, Tamworth Road at Litchfield Road, all received. Delta Zulu 10.
Delta 2, DC Dawes over.
Delta 2 to all units speaking, stand by.
Excuse me, mate. Excuse me, I'm a policeman. Hi. Son? Excuse me, mate. You got a licence? I'm a policeman. Right, excuse me. You're a doctor? OK, do you want to come round this side? Do you want to try to come round? It's going to be easier this side. His leg's up trapped. That's right, you can't move him. Delta 2, DC Dawes over.
Delta 2, DC Dawes, wait 1.
Can you get in that side? Delta 2, DC Dawes, it's urgent over, receive.
Unknown to Kirk, the public were already flooding the police with 999 calls about the accident.
Delta 2, DC Dawes.
Police messages to local traffic patrols were now swamping his radio, making it difficult for him to get through.
Delta 2, DC Dawes over. Delta 2, DC Dawes. Serious injury RTA. I'm at the junction of Litchfield Road and Little Sutton Lane. We're going to need the fire service and the ambulance. The driver looks like he's trapped by the legs.
Delta 2, DC Dawes, read your call, reference the RTA. Several traffic units are en route to the incident. ETA a couple of minutes over.
You're not going to be able to open this at all. That's right, his legs are, yeah. OK. You call the ambulance, it's fine. OK. He's well trapped under the steering wheel. OK? All right. You're obviously getting the fire service, yeah? What's the boost? Oh, Jesus Christ.
This incident is more a job for uniformed officers, but with only one vehicle involved, there's always a possibility that the car is stolen or the driver is drunk.
You actually saw him coming up? Yeah. Yeah.
Past my flat, doing a hell of a speed.
Was it?
And then the next minute, heard the sounds of banging, he's in the wall.
The ability to interview witnesses and piece together the facts on the spot is essential for officers like Kirk, first at the scene of an unfolding drama.
You think there's been a side impact?
Well, according to all the witnesses, it's basically just come straight.
Just straight up Sutton Lane, yeah? OK.
Fortunately, about 3 or 4 witnesses.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
I just can't imagine how the boot got over there. All right, sir.
What's the crack? Come straight
across.
Come straight across the junction, and these are going to be skid marks from here.
But he's trapped by the steering wheel, which are down across his legs, just across his thighs.
Have we checked the vehicle, see if it's nicked or anything like that?
I don't think we have yet. We're just doing that, yeah, because we've got the number there. Delta 2, DC Dawes.
DC Dawes, go ahead.
Traffic, ambulance and fire service are all in attendance. There's nothing here for the CID, so I'll carry on.
As Kirk later discovered, the driver hadn't committed any offence. He crashed trying to avoid a cat in the road. The cat was unharmed, but he spent several weeks in hospital with a crushed arm, a punctured lung and a broken pelvis.
A bevy, a bunk up, brilliant!
What we were expecting. Beethoven's Fifth.
Roadies, weeknights at 11:30 on UK Horizons.
It's a girl, Mrs. Thompson.
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
How refreshing. How Heineken.
Because the Braun Independent has an innovative steam shot system, your hair will now hold better, which means your hairstyle will stay up longer than you can. designed to make a difference.
Okay, you first. Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Soft caramel encased in a smooth chocolate truffle. Oh. Fun.
Oh, me.
Well, you said you wanted Rob's and Graham.
Oh, yeah, no. Thanks. Do you think I could take him back?
Thornton's, perfection in confection.
How confident are you to wash danger whites like these?
I'm worried about the colours running into the white.
Yes.
But I really like it.
Sounds like a challenge for new dads with Dialog Plus.
As you can see, none of the colours ran. It's still nice and white.
I really like it.
New dads with Dialog Plus helps even danger whites stay brilliant white. And she likes it.
New Crystal Air from Hays has an innovative glass design containing waves of real perfume, which fragrance your home for over 4 weeks.
At Iceland, these 400-gram prawns are just $1.99. Save £3. And Chicago Town twin-pack pizzas are just 99p.
Get the Philishave Coalskin Shaver and we'll give you a free Nivea for Men grooming kit. Argos, brighter prices, brighter Christmas.
This is really good. Who is it?
Some bloke called Paul McCartney, you might have heard of him.
Driving Rain is Paul McCartney's first studio album of new songs in 4 years. It includes a single, From a Lover to a Friend, and a special added track, Freedom. Paul McCartney's Driving Rain is out now.
Have you noticed how hard it is to drive in driving rain?
Now you can own the DVD experience of the year. Pearl Harbor. Own it on DVD and video now.
Life is made of one-to-ones. But some are more difficult than others. That's why we've created a new tariff that lets you use your free minutes to call anyone on any network. It's called Everyone because it includes everyone.
Smile, guys! Hey! So glad we came away for Christmas.
Yeah. Shame Chris couldn't make it, though.
Well, no, family comes first at Christmas. Anyway, listen, I bet he's having a great time.
Rawr! It's a Stegosaurus. It's an extinct Stegosaurus.
It's after midnight. At Divisional Control, more calls have come in for Kirk to investigate.
Hello, guys.
He just turned up at the Heartlands. He said he's been hit around the head with baseball bats.
Yeah.
He's got a serious injury and he's in and out of consciousness. That's all we know
Okay.
at the moment. He's been treated.
Kirk?
Yeah.
What's happened?
Apparently there's a man in the hospital at Heartlands with head wounds. He's been hit with a machete. He's the, what's her name? Right. I've spoken to Sue. Sue's going to get somebody down to the scene, to what we believe is the scene anyway, just to make sure that we've got some forensic. It is life-threatening, so I'd better get myself across there. Okay.
Kirk can find himself dealing with up to 20 separate incidents a night on his patch, which covers 50 square miles.
Hi, Kirk. It's Sue from the DIR.
Hello, Sue. I just wanted to know if there's any update on that job, because I've only just left D1.
Yeah, he's coming round a bit now, Kirk. He's managed to speak to the officers and he's saying he was hit on the head with a baseball bat and a machete at the junction of Kingscliff Road and Starbank Road. The officers are trying to look for a scene at the moment. They can't find anything.
All right, in that case then, I won't go to the scene right now. If they get something, could you just notify me straight away? I'll go to Heartlands Hospital. All right, Sarge. How you doing?
There's a chap in casualty. He's got a vicious wound to the back of his head. He's been hit with a machete down in his small leg.
Okay.
It's not life-threatening at the moment, but he keeps going in and out of consciousness.
Is it sore here?
Yeah.
On left side?
Sorry, what is that? Back from X-ray.
Yeah.
He's got a fractured skull, broken shoulder. We're going to be keeping him for a few days for various scans.
Okay then. I mean, can he be seen now by myself?
He's just tied anymore.
Yeah.
He's done that, you can see him.
Great stuff.
No problem.
All right then. And then that'll have to go on the night notes and then see where we can take it from there. I'm not sure, we still haven't found a scene.
Not at the minute.
I'll just check. Okay, thanks.
When you look at it,
So Delta 3.
That's right, minimum.
So the nurse said, this guy who was doing it was doing 2 hands.
Did we locate the
So he's really waxing.
He's really whacked him, yeah. He said when he's down, that's when they've hit him with a baseball bat once he's on the floor.
To the best scientist as you can. Hello, man. My name's Kirk Dawes. I'm a detective at Sutton Coldfield Police Station, yeah? I'm the night detective. Now, obviously, I've got to look about what we're going to do with regard to the injuries that have happened to you. Can you hear me? All right. Obviously, he's in pain. He's not really responding.
He does have a massive cut to the back of his head.
He does?
Yeah.
Do you mind just telling me what his injuries are?
He's got a skull fracture.
Yeah.
We think. The doctors at the moment are just checking his x-rays. It's the cut on the back of his head that's the main worry, and the fact that it was done with a maximum amount of force.
Okay. Right. Did you hear what I said? If you did, just blink once for me. Yeah? Right, so what I will do, right, I'll get a detective probably to see you as soon as you're fit enough to speak to them, OK? Just blink again. All right, then. Take care, man. OK. What I might also do is that we probably... Again, it's something we'll address tomorrow, but to try and get some photographs of his injuries. Hello?
Hi, Kirk. It's Sue from the DIR.
Hello, Sue. Sue, I've just spoken to one of the staff at the hospital. I think it's as well for us, to be perfectly honest, to have somebody at the hospital with this lad, certainly over the next 24 hours, because he could deteriorate rapidly.
Yeah, I've already heard from the sergeant at the hospital that he's out of X-ray, yeah. He doesn't sound too well, does he?
The sergeant, they've cleared from the scene. I think they spoke to the nurse there, but I've just been speaking to the nurses. The doctor's been there. And, I mean, if he were to deteriorate, then we really would have a problem if somebody wasn't here, because it's a really bad head injury. Now, given the fact that he's talking at the moment, we have to consider that if he starts to deteriorate, because he hasn't told us who's done this to him at the moment, we could get a dying declaration, and we certainly can't miss out not knowing who's attacked him.
In that case, Kirk, I'll check what I've got available and get somebody to you as soon as I can.
How are you doing with the scene?
Yeah, we've checked the location it was supposed to have happened. There's no trace there. No signs of any blood or anything. The officers have also checked the surrounding roads and there's still no trace of anything at all.
Right, what I think we ought to do then, at first light, we should have some people go back up there again.
Another thing, Kirk, is do you want us to check with the local taxi firms, as this man was supposed to have been dropped off at the hospital by a taxi?
Yeah, they must be able to remember something. There's certainly blood all over his body. And I mean, he's got no top on, so presumably there would have been blood on his garments. So I'm just going to see now whether or not his shirt and clothes are there. And I'm going to seize those now. What's your name? What's his name?
Ralph.
Ralph. Given the fact that this was an assault raft, right, what I'm going to have to do is to ask you if I can have your clothing, yeah? Just in case it's got any blood from them, right? Or anything that they may left, like their hair or something like that, that we could possibly get evidence from. But I need your permission to do that, right? Now, what I want you to do is just blink twice, so I'm absolutely sure that you've heard me. Can you say yes? Thanks. So I'm going to take the clothing that's there. I don't know, because if possible, I would like all of it.
All of it.
All right, Ralph. Do you know the guys who did this, any of them? You don't know? Was there an argument or anything? No. No. Did they just attack you? Just out of the blue? Yeah. Okay. Take care, man.
Discovering whether Ralph's attackers left behind any strands of hair as evidence is a job for SOCO, Scenes of Crimes officers. Kirk still needs to hear about the taxi which dropped Ralph at the hospital.
I've seized his clothing and I've left it in the inquiry office at Stetchford. I wonder if you could put on there for a message to be sent to SOCO at Bromford.
Yeah, I'll get the log updated for Socko, and I take it you'll put everything on the night note for the day staff for CID.
Right, because what it is, most of it is it's soaked in blood. We need it to be bagged properly, to be dried and then bagged properly, and obviously Socko at Bromford will have to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got something interesting here. The taxi driver that picked up a person in Monica Road I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah.
About 10 past midnight.
Okay.
Now, obviously we've got no details of the driver, he needs to be seen, it's from GT Cars. He was picked up from an address in Monica Road. We've done a check, and there's all this on the family. They're a well-known family of CROs. They've got all sorts into everything, firearms, burglaries, assaults, attempted to pervert the course of justice, etc.
It's quite a file, isn't it?
It's a hell of a file, this is. There is a possibility this family, if you look at what they've been up to, firearms, everything they're into, and they've obviously assaulting people, threatening people.
Yeah.
He's had a possible falling out with the family.
Okay.
They phoned for a taxi after they've done him, gone up to the hospital, kicked him out and said, say no more.
Well, that's right, because it's really odd that they've taken him in a taxi given his injuries. What I'll do, I'll make sure that it all goes on the night notes.
Right.
In fact, I'll be around to speak to whoever picks it up in the morning.
Yeah,
rather
okay.
than just leave
So,
it.
first thing we ought to do then is the taxi driver.
Yep. I'll make
See
sure
what
that's
they give us.
done, yeah. So
Okay,
that, okay.
All right, then.
I've got all the details on the log, haven't I?
All right, mate, yeah.
Thanks. Thanks, Sarge.
It could be a lengthy investigation, but as day breaks, Kirk has to focus on more routine matters.
All right, Sarge. Not too bad. Yep, keep them going.
Right, it's a bit busy earlier on, but I think we've got it in the hand. There's number 7's for court in the morning on the warrant, so there's nothing for you to worry about on that one.
Okay.
The one in 5, it's criminal damage to the door of a curry house. He's had a bit to drink, so we'll be looking at interviewing him in the morning.
Okay, is that straight handover to the other units?
Yeah,
okay.
that'll be handover.
Often, overnight prisoners need to be interviewed by the CID, but after his briefing, Kirk knows he can safely leave things to the oncoming day shift.
Do you want me to put any of those on the night notes?
You can mention, I would actually, yeah, just for information to mention those two, definitely. Okay, so I'll let you know if there's anything else, Kirk.
Okay, I'll put it on the night notes, and I'll see you later.
See you.
Delta 3 to Delta Zulu 20.
How long's that job been
20.
in there?
Can you make outside
Came in at 8 o'clock
parks?
last night, but they wanted doing early hours in the morning. It was on at 8.
Oh, they just wanted Nick to lodge.
Yeah, it happened on the 5th.
6 in the morning. As Kirk's 10-hour shift draws to a close, there's an urgent call from Staffordshire Police demanding his attention. A violent suspected rapist is on the loose.
Have you got something that can come with me? Do you want me to get this?
There's 2 Zulus, a Panda, a firearms car and a Hopi Dogman.
They're already there?
Or well on the way there.
Details are still sparse, and Kirk needs a lot more information about the suspected rapist. Staffordshire Police believe he may be armed. Kirk decides a station check with the computerised national police records is essential for a full risk assessment.
Yeah. The gaffer wants to know everything there is about you.
Hello, the man you're going to lock up for rape?
Yeah.
This offence took place on the 15th of June in Stoke-on-Trent, and he obviously knows the victim, but used violence and threats for the rape.
He's subject of another operation called Apricot in respect of armed robberies on the EF and K divisions.
What they armed with?
It doesn't say.
I'll tell you what, given the fact that it is supposed to be violence, yeah, you're putting your stat proofs on, and just just have your casco ready, rather than wait for it to kick off, yeah?
There's stacks of form on him.
There was an entry put on the 6th of February by a DC from the F1. Operation Apricot targeted him at this address for armed robberies on the EF and K divisions. Armed with what, we don't know.
If he has got a gun, right, we back off, yeah? We back off and just get the proper people in to deal with it, yeah? Al, do you know the layout of the flat? Have they told you or anything?
For these, though, he's not in the main block.
Yeah.
It's a side bungalow what used to be the landlord.
OK, then. All right, then. Once we're into the premises, right, make sure that if you go to a room, there's 2 of you, right? And just do all the rooms in the house very, very quickly, OK? So, I'll partner up, yeah? Right? Then you 2, and then we'll go in, yeah?
The final one goes back to 1991, but it started up. Extreme care must be exercised when dealing with him.
Delta 2 DC Dawes over, night CID.
Night CID, go ahead.
Father, is there any way you could get Mr MacArthur just to give me a ring?
Yes, I'm going to ring you any second.
Inspector MacArthur is the duty officer.
Stacks of form on him. There's 4 different files on him. Certainly on all these different logs mentions of shotguns, firearms, etc, etc.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Kirk.
How are you?
Well, basically, I was not made aware of this incident until about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
Having looked at the log and read this brief fact that's come from staffs,
yeah,
it indicates this man's got firearms and drugs and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
There's no way that I'm prepared to authorise us going round to do the job without further information.
Yeah, quick, very quickly, yeah. Quick debrief. Let's just do it round here. Listen, Mr MacArthur's not prepared to authorise it, given the scant details that have been left at the DIR, right? Yeah. So what I would do is strip off and just make your way back in to Sutton.
The rapist was later apprehended by Staffordshire Police and has since appeared in court. Not all inquiries lead to prosecutions. Some draw a blank, but all must be thoroughly checked out and filed. Like the assault on Ralph, who also in the end decided not to bring charges against his attackers. The victim of the car crash recovered so well he's planning to marry one of the nurses at the hospital where he was treated.
Batons liberally have challenged, Italy's laws restrain them from using force against the protesters. By law, the officers are not allowed to use force greater than what has been used against them. The young protesters are from left-wing factions. The left has increasingly come into conflict